Are you looking to sell your home out here in South Eastern Idaho? Well, you've come to the right place because I'm going to give you my top 5 mistakes homeowners make when trying to sell their home out here. Let's talk. So if this is your first time to the channel and living in Idaho Falls, I'm Sean Boswell. I'm a local real estate agent out here in southeastern Idaho. I help individuals and families all around the United States move to Idaho, as well as locals sell their home. So if you'd like to get the latest information on market trends, local updates, tips on selling and buying your home, maybe even pros and cons of living in a certain area, please click the subscribe button below and the bell notification to get the latest updated information. All right, mistake number 1 is overpricing your house. What can happen, and it happens to everyone, you live in a home for 5, 10 years, and man, you have made some great memories in that house. Your kids have grown up there, maybe you took your first job, maybe some life experiences happened that you can't have anywhere else because of that specific home, the neighbors you have, the neighborhood you have. All these things can combine to make it very difficult to price your house, especially when you have all these emotional attachments to it. And so what can happen here is that overpricing your house can cause your house to not sell, and it could sit on the market for a long time, and ultimately will make you lose money because time is equal to money, right? And so given that that's the case, you may be overpricing your house because of these emotional attachments. But the reality is you have to figure out what your house is valued at. And the only way really to do that is by checking sold data. And who has the sold data? Well, real estate agents do. And they do that by checking what's called a comparative market analysis. That is when they take homes that have sold in the area, specifically with your same stats, whether that's bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, also the location, the size of the lot, and what kind of quality you have in your house. Is it a quality build or is it very generic? So given that these situations can cause you to lose a lot of money, you'd want to overprice your house never, if you can help it. You always want to have your home set at the right price so that you're not going to be losing out on any money. If you're on the market for 90 days, you're probably going to be expecting some lowball offers. And that's really going to hurt you, you know? It's not only going to hurt you financially, but it's going to hurt you emotionally, and it's going to hurt the time you're sitting on the market. So the best thing to do is, like I said, get with an agent, figure out what your price is, and work from there. So mistake number 2 is neglecting your curb appeal. Let's face it, and out here in southeastern Idaho, we have tons of sun in the summertime, lots of background radiation. We have winter, which is the snow and the wind. Those things do havoc on the front of your lawn. And why is it important? Because, well, I've had buyers come right to the front of a house, look at it from the outside and say, you know what? This isn't gonna work for me. It doesn't feel like home. It feels like someone is just not taking care of it. As a homeowner, you can take care of the interior, you can make it look nice, you can renovate it, but if you can't even get someone through the front door, what was the point? So you have to be able to have that curb appeal that'll attract people driving by and make it feel like a home. So some examples of things that may be an issue on your lawn are, well, with wind, we get a lot of debris pushed into our lawns, right? So cleaning up the debris and trash that may come there. Secondly, if you have chipped paint on the outside of the house, hire someone to scrape it off and paint it. A new fresh coat of paint can do wonders for a house. Next, if your grass is too long and you have maybe weeds in your beds, hire someone to pull those out and trim that. You know, that can make a big difference. Even if it is a bit of a cost to you monthly until your house sells, it's going to do wonders for you to maintain that outside property. Shoveling the snow can be very helpful and also prevent injury for people who are coming in and out of your house. So highly recommend that for the winter time. And honestly, this is going to help you get the best money for your house. So mistake number 3 is going to be failing to declutter, depersonalize, and stage your home. So why is this important for buyers? Well, the fact of the matter is, when someone is coming through a house, if they feel like the house is just not a good fit or that they're not getting their value for what they're paying, it's not going to be worth it to them to go into that house and make an offer. They won't do it. So in order to overcome that, you have to declutter your house. And we all have sentimental things in our houses. It's important that you know that I don't hate your stuff. It's a matter of allowing a buyer to be able to connect with the house. And having a lot of your sentimental things in there, maybe it doesn't give them a lot of sentimental value either, right? Because they didn't have those experiences with those things. And so what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to take all the additional things out of the home that are gonna be causing it to feel like there's too much in the room. That can be removing a couch potentially if there's too many couches, not enough space to walk through. That could be also us maybe removing an additional bookshelf, getting rid of all of the things on the shelf. I know that sometimes families can get busy and it's hard to not, collect things like homework and other things. So anytime you can get rid of those additional items sitting on the shelves, and basically make the house feel more open, it's gonna help quite a bit for selling. The second thing is having that decluttering, depersonalizing part, right? The depersonalizing part is really important. We all love our kids, we all love our family and our friends, but having them on the wall doesn't allow a buyer to feel like they can be in the house, that it feels like it's someone else's house, not theirs. And they can't see themselves living there. It always is gonna feel like someone else owns it, which is gonna be the truth, right? But when they're imagining themselves coming into the house, it's gonna be difficult for them to do that. So depersonalizing, meaning taking all the photos off the walls, removing things that are very custom to you, which may be sentimental items as well, like I talked about. But depersonalizing will help people to just come in and say, yeah, I can see myself here. The last thing is staging. If you don't stage your home, it's important to have, a decent look to your home. If your furniture has tons of holes and rips and everything else, it's gonna have a harder time selling. And let's face it, everything wears out over time, and I don't want you to spend a ton of money replacing all your furniture. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you have someone that can stage your house with maybe a couch that they can rent to you, or if you can rearrange your items in a way that helps the flow of the house better and allows pictures to look even better, then that's gonna help people to want to see the house even from the online view, or when they're in there, they can say, hey, this house is a nice layout. I really like how this flows. And that will help you sell your house for top dollar. So mistake number 4 is gonna be skipping repairs. We don't wanna skip those repairs that we need in our house. The issue with this is that when homeowners come in, they're gonna try to nickel and dime you every step of the way, because they want to get a good deal and they don't want to pay for all the repairs they have to. So anytime you can do some repairs in the beginning will help your house to be able to sell for max dollar, right? Because if they start nitpicking and they get this inspection that tells them they have 100 things they need to fix, that could be overwhelming for them. Let's face it, I don't want to go into a house and feel like I have to repair half of it. If I'm desperate enough, maybe I'll make all those repairs, but people are buying a place to relax, to have a good, place for their family to grow and be in. And if it feels like they're constantly working when they get home from work, no one wants that. That's stressful. And so how you can kind of look at your house, well, you can do a couple things right off the bat. If you know some things that need to be repaired, look around. Maybe you have that leaky faucet, or maybe there is some, like a hole in the drywall that you need to repair. Those are things that are fairly easy to fix. Major things like a roof will cause you some headache in the future, because no matter what happens in the inspection, it's going to be called out. So expect that those major repairs could happen as part of your deal. But the solution is to maybe have a pre-list inspection. Maybe have an inspector come out to your house and check out all the things that are potentially wrong, so you know what you're expecting. The thing that gives us the most competitive edge with that is that we know what to expect when some other inspector comes in, and we can confront those issues and maybe repair a bunch of them prior to having someone else want to make an offer on the house and do that inspection. So that gives us the advantage. Also, it could be a potential benefit for the buyer that comes in that says, hey, I want to go ahead and buy this house. And we say, look, we got this pre-list inspection, and look at all these repairs we've done. We've done a real good job. We want to make sure that you have a real nice house. And guess what? They're going to feel like if the house is more valuable right off the bat. And 2, you're not going to have to worry about making all those repairs and in the back end when you're trying to get yourself out of the house when moving. It can be a real mess. So I highly recommend that someone goes in and takes a look at your house, tells you what needs to be repaired, and you make those minor repairs to keep yourself from stressing out during that whole contract process. And by far, it's going to help you have peace of mind for the long term and through this process. So my fifth and final mistake that most homeowners make is ignoring the importance of marketing. That is a huge thing in this industry nowadays. You can't just go throw it on the MLS as a basic service and expect it's going to sell right away. It's just not that way anymore. When we used to run newspaper ads, not me specifically, but when people used to run newspaper ads, they couldn't wait to go and see those papers, and that was the most appropriate form of marketing at that time. But nowadays, everything has changed. We now have computers that can be reached throughout the whole world. People can be looking at your house from far away. We have 3D technology that can now look inside a house as if you're walking through it with a VR headset. These things are capable now because of technology and improvement. So, how do you combat the lack of marketing? Well, I've seen plenty of people who have listed a house with really poor photos, and it really doesn't do a service to the homeowner. They're trying to get the best money for their house, and I see an agent will come into the house, take a photo with their cell phone that just looks like they zoomed into one part or one corner of the house, and then it just doesn't sell it. Like when someone walks through a house and now they're like, wow, this is so much bigger than I thought it was. That's a big thing, If you're making people feel like your house is smaller when they're looking at these photos from far away, what makes them want to even see the house in person? They're not going to schedule their showing, and you're probably not going to get any offers. So how do you solve this problem? Well, you need to be able to hire a good agent, someone that knows marketing well, someone that can get professional photography out there, someone who can do some video tours for you, and take these things and put them on social media, put them on the internet so that people can go and see them from all around the United States and other countries potentially, that we're going to help you to sell your house quickly. And when people are looking from out of state to move here, you're going to want to help them make that transition as easy as possible. It's expensive to go and travel out here to visit, just to go and look at a house. Relocation fees can help from a company that they're moving from, but ultimately it's going to be challenging for them to feel like, hey, I can look at all these houses, and if I can't find the right house, I'm just going to have to come here and spend the time driving around. We would hope that anyone that comes out to South Eastern Idaho to look at a house has looked at many homes online and has chosen their top 5 so that they maximize the time that they're out here. So what I recommend is, like I said, you hire an agent that's going to take care of you, be a digital marketer, and really ultimately get you that extra edge in this market nowadays. So these are my top 5 mistakes homeowners make out here in the area, and I've seen it a lot, and don't be one of those people if you can help it. So if you have any questions about buying or selling a home out here in Southeastern Idaho, feel free to reach out to me. My information is in the description below. I'd love to talk to you about how you can maximize your house. And if you have any additional ideas of things you want to talk about when it comes to the selling process or buying process, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please put them in the comments below. And we look forward to seeing you next time here in Living in Idaho Falls.